All right, 7:17 now. Feels like a good time to get a first check of the weather. Dylan's in for Al again. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, good morning, guys. You know that storm system that impacted the Carolinas recently? Well, that is now still sitting over the Atlantic, and it's producing most of its rain out over the water, although the outer bands will bring some heavier rain to southeastern Massachusetts, including Cape Cod and the islands there, too. We also have all of this water being pushed on shore. So during the time of high tides, really from Florida all the way up into New York, we do have the chance of seeing some coastal flooding as about 1 to 2 feet of extra water could be pushed on shore. So just something to keep in mind during the time of high tide. We could end up with about 3 inches of rain, especially across Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard too. But you go inland just a bit, and there's the chance we could see about 1 inch or so of rain. So very unsettled today across southern New England. Also unsettled this afternoon and evening as storms develop out ahead of a cold front. This area does include Duluth, Minneapolis, stretching down to Des Moines and Kansas City, where we could see hail about 2 inches or more in diameter, and we could also end up with some wind gusts over 60 miles per hour and can't rule out tornadoes too. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.
In for Al, how are we looking?
Well, we're looking pretty good in the middle of the country if you like those warmer summertime temperatures, because that ridge in the jet stream is still bringing in all of that warm air, warm winds. Temperatures running about 15 to 20 degrees above average. Omaha, Nebraska, 91 degrees today. Wichita, 98. Little Rock, 92. Columbus, 88 degrees today. This area of high pressure slides a little to the east tomorrow, keeping those southwest winds. Up into Cincinnati, we're looking for highs in the lower 90s. Pittsburgh, upper 80s. This is not what you expect in the middle of September here. It will settle back down into the mid 70s as we go into the start of next week, and Boston will even drop down into the 60s, but we will hang on to a lot of clouds through the weekend. Want to point out what's going on in the tropics, because the water temperature typically this time of year is the warmest it gets. But add to that the temperature of the water here is also record warmth. So we are seeing this as a very good chance of this developing into a tropical depression, perhaps a 40% chance within the next week or so. So something we will keep an eye on, just because the water temperature is so warm. So this could lead to development. So we'll be watching that into next week. That's a look at the weather across the country. Now here's a peek out your window.
Always brings the goods, too.
I try. I mean, we do have a lot of nice weather up across the Great Lakes through the Midwest. Temperatures still feeling like summer. Pretty unsettled across southeastern Massachusetts into Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, Cape Cod, too. We also have some spotty thunderstorms back through Minneapolis, just east of Omaha and Wichita. But we're going to see more storms redevelop this afternoon that could produce some large hail and some damaging winds. It's that dividing line between the really warm temperatures, about 20 degrees above average, versus the colder temperatures out west, which are still running about 15 to almost 20 degrees below average. So again, that's our area of seeing some severe storms. Record high temperatures down south, a little unsettled out through California with a lot of the burn scar areas. If you get some of those heavier pockets of rain, that could lead to some brief flooding and some mudslides. So just something to keep an eye out for out that way. That's a look at the weather across the country. Now here's a peek out your window.